Humans have looked up in wonder at the night sky for as long as we've existed. We've tracked the phases of the moon and built monuments aligned to the heavenly bodies. We instinctively look for meaning in the vastness of space and in the movement of the stars. Z is for Zoodiac. Some of my favourite memories are of summer evenings lying in the lush grass looking up at the night sky and trying to name the constellations. If you haven't got too much light pollution, the number of stars you can see is amazing, and that's just what you can see with the naked eye. The movement of the stars and constellations has fascinated us for ages. We have projected our stories onto them, we have identified them with our gods, we have tracked their movements and tracked our own lives alongside them. Places like Stonehenge and Callanish and other stone circles were built aligned with the movement of the stars, the sun and the moon, but also places like passage graves in Ireland like Newgrange that is aligned with the sunrise on the winter solstice. Newgrange is not the only passage grave in the Boyne Valley that is aligned to the movement of the sun, and our ancestors decorated them with amazing petroglyphs that some people interpret as astronomical observations because they are grouped in groups of 7 or multiples of 7, which seems to align with the length of a lunar cycle. Space, after all, is our place of origin. The particles we are made out of once were part of a supernova somewhere in the vastness of space, and we seem to have an innate longing to go back there and explore that vastness, both through story and through spaceflight. If space is our place of origin, and the stars are our gods, then it's only natural that we would form the belief that the movement of the stars and planets influences our everyday life. We started to measure the movement of the heavens in search for meaning. The first evidence of humans tracking the phases of the moon is about 25,000 years old, and 4,000 years ago the Babylonians started to practice something that we would recognize as astrology. They would pick dates for their important events according to the positions of the stars. When the Babylonians conquered Egypt, they took their astrological practice with them, and the Egyptians, of course, ran with it. From Egypt, the practice spread into ancient Greece and Rome, and later into the Arab world. And from both those sources, it came into medieval Europe, where it was very important in medicine. And of course, astrologers started to plot the future lives of important people from the positions of the stars at their moment of birth. For a long time, astrology was a science, and the science of astronomy that we know now developed out of it. Different traditions also developed in India and China and in the Americas. We've been doing this stuff for a long time and all across the world. Do I really believe that the positions of the stars at the time of my birth influences who I am, or that the movement in the heavens influences what happens politically or globally on our planet? That's a good question, and I have a weird two-way relationship with all of the things we've discussed in this series. I believe in the possibility, and I believe that working with these things can be valuable, and they just work. Just me sitting here talking to you about this stuff is a very Sun in Pisces in the first house thing to do. But whether the movement of the stars is a causation for what we do in our lives, I am less sure about. Which then again is an odd thing to say for somebody who has an astrology app on her phone that she looks at every day. I have my own ways of working with astrology. At the moment I am interested in the movement of the North Node, which happens to have recently entered Pisces, which is my birth sign, and also the sign where my own North Node is placed. The North Node symbolises our direction of travel, our soul trajectory, so to speak. That being placed in Pisces has something to do with us longing to be one with all things and to find our spiritual wholeness. What that means for me, I'll let you know in 18 months when the North Node moves on to Aquarius. I look at the placement of the North Node and the aspects of other planets to it, and then I use keywords for the planets and the signs to make up phrases for the day. Those then feed into prayers to smooth the road for all of us on our soul trajectory. In doing so, of course, I stand in a long, long tradition of people all across the world who have been fascinated with the night sky. Are you curious about the night sky? What meaning do you find there? And do you believe in astrology in any capacity? Let me know in the comments below. Click like if you enjoyed watching this video, and subscribe if you want to see what's next in my Druid life. Can you believe this is the last letter of the alphabet and there are 26 of these for you to watch? Thank you for coming this far with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.